What's up everyone? I really hope everyone here is having a great May so far as everyone's getting ready for summer. Well, not really for me because the humidity here sucks in this season if you live in the south. Either way, we're here again in Southline District. This update was really just supposed to be out on the 15th of May, but it was delayed for 2 days. Don't know why. Could be the bug fixes they gotta do, and they also announced an extra locomotive into this update too, so is it worth the wait? Yeah, I would say so. So this update includes the new America 250 locomotive, which is CPKC, more oddball units, new and reworked UP locomotives, which is mainly the SD40s, and more that we'll be discussing in today's video. Oh, they also changed the character animation from R6 to R15, if you're wondering. Okay, I don't know why I decided to mention this, because nobody cares about this. Anyways, let's just jump right into the video. Chapter 1 is going to be the free locomotives. The first locomotive is the BNSF GP38-2. Many of these GP38-2s originally came from Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. The ex-BN locomotives can be found in the 2000 and 2300 series, while the ex-ATSF are located in the 2200 series. BNSF rebuilt and repainted those GP38s to H4 and added some other parts on the top. Here's a few varieties I can find. So here's variety 1, here's number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and number 7. The next locomotive is the BNSF ES44ACH. Now you may be curious, what is an ACH? Well, it's a heavy ballast unit of the ES44, basically to haul very heavy trains, which includes coal trains since they're the heaviest trains to pull. BNSF started this ACH program in mid-2023, starting out with the ET44s, then to the ES44s in September 2023. They have extra weight into the locomotive, usually about 430,000 pounds. A regular ES44 AC with no heavy duty installed weighs about 416,000 pounds, basically adding 20,000 more pounds into the locomotive. BNSF purchased 100 of these locomotives from late 2023 to early 2024, then again early in 2025, numbers from 3282 to 3381. 3 ES44 ACHs are painted in red, white, and blue to celebrate America's 250th birthday. They're supposedly former numbers 3379 to 3381, but I could not find any source to confirm this. Next are the UP SD40Ns. UP rebuilt the SD40-2s in the 2010s and classified these to SD40Ns. Here's the ex-CNW and the Missouri Pacific SD40s. Honestly see no difference, however the ex-Missouri Pacific has no dynamic braking vents. That's pretty much all I have to say about these. Now moving on to the Union Pacific Yard SD40s. The Y just stands for, well, I just said it, so it's just basically Yard. These were originally started off as mainland services until they were switched to local services. They were later to be rebuilt and renumbered. The ex-CNWs are in the 400 series. The regular SD40s ordered from UP are in the 300 series. Here's the Snoot nose. Really nothing but a UPY reporting marks. These were designed for radio control equipment for DPUs and remote control helper unit services. So pretty much they made the nose a little bit longer, just like the character Pinocchio from this Disney movie. Next is this EMD PSY6B. Now you're thinking, well, what in the world is a PSY6B? It's just like a jumble of letters. Is it some sort of slug that they use? Well, yeah, you're correct. These were originally from the SD38-2s or SD40-2s. They're converted to have no diameter braking, prime mover, or any fans on the locomotive. Reclassify them to PSY6Bs. The P just stands for powered, SY being the slug yard. The 6 denotes that the 6 axles on this unit are all powered by 6 separate traction motors, and the B being as the quote-unquote cabless B unit. Basically rebuilt without anything to move by its own but the locomotive connected to. I couldn't find any pictures online of what's inside, but here's a picture of what it may look like. Next is the Canadian Pacific ST40-2F in the Beaver scheme. This is another scheme from Canadian Pacific that was used on their newer locomotives from the late 90s until the CPKC merger. However, Canadian Pacific still uses this scheme to repaint the ST40-2Fs for some reason, even after the CPKC merger. Here's 3 new Phase 7 passenger cars, the baggage, diner car, and a sleeper. On to the Southern Pacific AC44s, both in SP and patched. Southern Pacific purchased the AC44s from General Electric in 1995, numbers from 100 to 378. They operated with Southern Pacific until the Union Pacific and Southern Pacific merger in 1996. All the SP AC44s were patched in many different patchworks, as shown in the screen. All will be renumbered from 6145 to 6425. Out of the 279 SP AC44s in UPC's roster, only 5 are left in a Southern Pacific paint. Numbers 6236, 6310, 6318, 6379, and 6378. The last time a unit was repainted and rebuilt in SP was UP 6367, retired sometime in late 2021 or early in 2022, and put into service in mid-22 with its UP colors. 89 of the ex-SP units have been rebuilt so far. That includes UP 6367. Chapter 3 is going to be short since there's only one America 250 scheme, which is CPKC's America 250. CPKC unveiled the America 250 locomotive in February 2026, number 1776, labeling "We the People" behind the cab. Oh, 1776 isn't the only one painted in the America 250 scheme. 4 other locomotives were also built and painted in the same scheme as 1776. Those numbers will be 7626, 776, 250, and 704. I honestly don't know why they painted 4 extra locomotives. But, alright, I guess that's cool. Next are the Western Oddballs. The first unit is this BNSF SD70MAC number 9734. Now you're probably wondering what's really the difference on this Mac. Well, yeah, it has an Heritage 3 scheme originally from the BNSF Executive colors when first purchased in 1996. Originally going to Burlington Northern, but they were delivered to BNSF lettering so that their numbers at the cab due to the BN and ATSF merger. They were also delivered to have flashing ditch lights as being one of those because why not? Either way, over the next few years, BNSF decided to remove the flashing ditch lights on the B and SD70MAX except for 9734. I couldn't find any information as to why they did not remove it, but it had its engine tarped in 2014 in Kansas City. Not sure if it's related to the repaint, so we'll never know. Next is UP6759. 6759 was built in March of 1996 from General Electric and was placed into service operating as a normal GE AC44. That was until in December 2007 while leading a northbound empty coal, it collided with a UP local 2 miles north of Mulvane, Kansas on the BNSF Arkansas City subdivision. The conductor side of 6759 was completely destroyed. Despite the horrific damage, both crewmen survived with only minor injuries. 6759 was sent to Topeka, but BNSF decided to not repair it, so it was sent to Tacoma where it was repaired. But not how it turned out. The cab came from a Canadian National Dash 9 number 2584, which in that same year in 2007 was involved in a washout in Alberta, destroying the entire locomotive except for the cab, which was spared for 6759's new cab. As you can see, the teardrops that CN uses were removed on 6759 and left as weird cab nose type. Fast forward to 2026, that unit is now stored in Fort Worth where it will be rebuilt. Sadly, we'll have its Canadian cab removed for a new one. UP 7312. 7312 was built in 1998 from General Electric. Now, it's just not some AC44 that UP, along with other companies, ordered the 4400 horsepower. They ordered the convertible AC6000 unit, which General Electric was competing with EMD at that time. Now, what in the world is a convertible unit? The short answer is that they're very powerful units. Way too powerful to damage the rails, also suffering mechanical issues. So they're just non-reliable units because of how powerful the locomotive is. To fix this, UP decided to go back to their 4400 horsepower, and it worked. No damaged rails, no mechanical issues, none of that. Anyways, 7312 had this treatment and was put into service. That was until in 2004, while operating on Norfolk Southern trackage, it derailed, and kaboom. Okay, I was just exaggerating right there. While there's no information on any photos of 7312's damage, nor the FRA accident report online, it was assumed that 7312's cab was severely damaged. It was moved to Juniata Shops, located in Altoona, Pennsylvania, where it will have its Dash 9 cab with the headlights on the top. It was placed into service afterwards with the NS cab. Fast forward to the late 2010s, it was sent to rebuild between 2017 to 2018, still retaining that NS cab, where it continues to operate to this day. Next is this BNSF GP38-2B number 2249. This unit was built sometime in the late 70s and built as the SOSF or the Frisco Railroad number 460. While there's no information nor any photos of the SOSF B unit, it was sold to the Burlington Northern sometime in the early 80s, painted in the Cascade Green, and renumbered to 2601. It served with Burlington Northern until the BNSF merger. repainted to H1, serving for mainline services for a short time until they removed the B unit for yard and local services in the mid-2000s. As of January 2026, that unit is now in storage in Wyoming, along with dozens and dozens of SD70MACs, Jeeps, etc. The final locomotive in this chapter is this BNSF GB23 Eco. This is a rebuild program that BNSF and Progress Rail collaborated on. They used two BNSF GP38Us, formerly from the ATSF Railroad, number 2307 and number 2343. They will have their long hood removed with a new long hood with a large radiator wing, as well as new dynamic braking vents to be more large compared to the GB38's the dynamic braking when first built, as well as a new prime mover that has 2300 horsepower. Both will be renumbered to 2197 and 2233. Both are working as local trains in the Illinois area and are the only two Eco units that have been rebuilt. What if I tell you that Union Pacific use actual tornado sirens on their locomotives? Would you believe me? Well, that is true, and this happened on their 5 other locomotives. 2 of their SDP-45s, which will later be moved to the powerful DDA-40Xs in 1979, and an SD-40. In the 1970s, Union Pacific tested the tornado sirens on the locomotives. These were intended to be used for emergencies only when approaching maintenance crewmen who are working on the tracks and are not able to hear an average train horn. While there's no audio or videos of those sirens going off on the locomotives, here's what it would sound like. Here's the horn. And here's the siren. This program would end in the 1980s, as stated the cab would shake when sounded, and others saying that the siren would spin at speed. And pretty much an average train horn is already loud enough compared to those sirens, which is louder than a K5 or an RS horn. 6918 that had it, the sirens were removed and put into storage, presumably scrapped by 1984. The last chapter we'll be talking about in today's video are these reworked locomotives. Here's the CN ET44AC with the 100th anniversary sticker on the long hood. Canadian National celebrated their 100th anniversary in 2019. To celebrate their milestone, they added the sticker units on the ET44ACs that were ordering at that time. Only 34 out of the ET44s had it and were delivered and put into service. The last unit is this Progress Rail SD70MAC. These were originally from Burlington Northern until they went out to the BNSF after the merger, still retaining their executive colors. Sometime in 2017, BNSF sold 14 of their SD70MACs numbers 9551 to 9564, one repainted in H3 before it was sold. In 2018, Norfolk Southern released all these Macs from Progress Rail for a short time until they went back. Some photos I found online show that 11 of the Macs were stored in Fort Smith, Arkansas from 2022 to 2023 until they were moved out. So who knows what happened to those units now? Probably taken away for scrap. Alright y'all, well that's pretty much it for today's video, and before you say anything, yes, I'm aware about this new update that they dropped on May 29th as of making this video, so I'm aware about the steam locomotives, so I'll be making another video of that, so just keep an eye on that, and I'll make a video about it. Either way, that's all I have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to like this video and also subscribe to this channel, as we're about to approach 1400 subscribers. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for all the support. Either way, I'll catch you guys in another video, and as always, take care.